In today's video, we're going to discuss false grip. What is it, when do we use it, and how do we achieve a good strong false grip? Hi, this is Shannon from Cali Tricks, and today we're going to be talking about false grip on the bars and rings, and I'm going to show you progressions on how to achieve the false grip, explain when we use it and what it's even for. So on the bar, first I'll show you what false grip looks like. It's basically hands over the bar essentially. I mean, there's a lot more to it than that, but the brief way to explain it is instead of having the thumb around the bar and my wrist hanging under the bar, my wrist is over the bar and so are my thumbs. Now, bar placement, the bar is basically running across this part of my hand and across here. And then I'm barely holding on with my fingers. And I'll show you the function of the false grip. So we use the false grip anytime we need to get from under the bar to above the bar without shifting our hand movement. So if I were to do that same thing without false gripping, thumb around the bar, you can see my wrist is now hanging under the bar. So to get over the bar, I have to really bring my arms around. So it saves you that time, and it's crucial, even saving that movement when you're a novice. Already being in that position to push up into the dip during the muscle up makes the whole movement easier. So really good to know the false grip when you're starting out. It does become less important later on, but it's still a very important skill. So false gripping on rings is a little different to the straight bar. It's a very deep grip. So what you would consider a normal grip on rings, I guess, would look like this, where I'm just hanging on and my wrists again are under the ring. False grip, let's just take the watch off for this. False grip, now I'm sinking my hands right into the rings. It doesn't look comfortable. It isn't comfortable, okay? And then we're pulling up from here, and if I were to muscle up, I'd be coming through here. But it's bringing me into that position again where my wrists are over the ring so that I don't have to try to shift somehow to here. Because trust me, on rings, that is way harder than the bar to transition into that position during a pulling motion. Near impossible. If I hang from here and try to pull up and get into false grip during the movement, it's the most awkward thing I could possibly imagine trying to do on rings, and I just wouldn't do it. So you want to start in the false grip position whenever you're muscling up on rings, and pretty much whenever you're doing a routine on rings. Again, you'll see that the ring is essentially sitting across this part of my hand. This time thumbs are around the ring though, and that's where this differs to the bar. On the bar we'd be sitting like this, but these aren't bars, they're rings, so the thumb does still wrap around. We're just really high up in the wrist. Okay, so we'll get started on how to actually develop the grip. Two things that I highly recommend when learning this is either chalk or some good hand wraps. This is a painful thing to learn. Unfortunately, there's no easy way around it. You are going to experience pain, and you need to endure that for weeks and months before you develop, I guess, to some degree, callousing through here and just a toughening of the skin and getting used to hanging all your weight off here instead of here. So we're pretty comfortable hanging here, and it doesn't hurt too much. It can become painful over time, but it's nothing compared to this. So to develop false grip, essentially you're just going to put your hands over the bars, fists clenched if you like, or open, doesn't matter. You're going to rest your wrist on the bar and hang your weight, and just get used to hanging here. So when you start, you might want to hang for 3 seconds, and when you've got a solid 3-second hang, work on building that up to 5 seconds over weeks, and then a 10-second hang, however long it takes you to achieve that, all right? Ultimately, you need to be able to hang here for a minute, minute and a half to do a proper routine, but that's going to come with plenty of time, 2-3 years sort of thing. So it doesn't hurt me anymore. I've been doing bar muscle ups for probably about 3 years now. I don't feel pain hanging in this position. It's just awkward. When you're starting, it definitely hurts, okay? So just be aware of that. Yeah, it's totally normal. Endure it. Now, if you're going to use chalk, you're going to chalk up the base of your hand. We're really not even using up here too much. If you want to cover your hands in chalk, that's fine. But the crucial bit is down here, and that's where you're going to grip. And I'll do a muscle up, again, just to demo. And if we come over to the rings, I highly advise with any ring work, chalk. Okay, so developing the false grip on the rings now is similar to the bar. It's essentially just hanging, but you're gonna get that false grip, hands close together, and you can just hang here. So I'm in almost like a semi-Australian pull-up position. Like I could do pull-ups or curls from here. So my body's taking the weight, there is strain through my hands, and it's all going onto that part of my wrist. This is going to be a much more torturous, painful process without any chalk or wraps. Now, it looks the same on wraps. I just get a much better grip. If you want to train with wraps, that's fine, but I'd really suggest that when you're starting out, not to use these for false grip training, because they are going to too much pad you from developing that callousing and toughening of the skin. I use these because I'm starting to learn spins off the bars and swinging, and it's tearing my calluses apart. These prevent that tearing of calluses. While you're developing the conditioning for the false grip, you want to develop calluses, and they're not going to tear per se until you start doing high reps on the rings, okay? Pretty much every session where I'm doing multiple rep muscle ups, I do tear the skin down here. So if you could hang in this position for 10 seconds at a time, start doing multiple sets of that just like you would any other exercise. Do this for 3 to 5 sets if you're still comfortable going for that long, if you're not, causing yourself any unnecessary pain. Like I mentioned, it will hurt, but you don't want to start feeling pains through your shoulders or elbows, things like that. Those are signs that you should be backing off this exercise altogether for a while and just rest and recover. So 3 to 5 sets, probably every second day for a while. You'll eventually build conditioning where you can have a useful false grip and start utilizing it for what it's meant for, and that's for getting over the bar. Okay, so you can see just from making this video, the short time that I've spent in the false grip position, you can probably see through the chalk there that it is starting to grind a little bit at my hands, okay? And that's perfectly normal, and that's where you're going to develop the conditioning, is around that area. So in summary, when do we use false grip? Anytime we want to get from below the bar to above the bar, or below the rings to above the rings, without having to do a huge transitional movement of the hands. So the transition is already done. How do we achieve it? Dead hangs in that position, wrist over the bar, kind of a semi-pseudo Australian pull-up position on rings, and just staying contracted there, or open arm, as long as your weight is creating resistance to create force on this point, all right, where we want to toughen up and condition over time. So I hope that helps a lot of you. If you've got any questions, just pop them down in the comments section, and please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.